started the season well with scoring in the first 3 games, and continued that on for the majority of the season. We had an adventurous European campaign where we blitzed the group very well and won our home games and took enough points to win the group against some very good teams. Probably the toughest group in Europe. And I think as the season went on, we found it tougher in terms of the games after the European games. We found it tougher to have a good tempo and break teams down who were coming to Goodison and happy to take a draw rather than coming to beat us, and that's probably where we suffered, and we didn't achieve what we wanted to. And how the season kind of ended up being a bit of a fight to get out any trouble, and we done that. And as soon as our European campaign finished, we kind of came out of that pretty quickly. We went in a run of 5-6 wins in a row.
And from that point of view, therefore, would you say that the Europa League is something of a curse for teams in the Premier League in particular? I
think for clubs that aren't in it in European competition every season, it takes a bit of getting used to, and that's, but as a team, that's where you want to be. You look at the top teams and your Chelsea's, Man City's, Arsenal's, Man United. These teams are regularly fighting on kind of both fronts successfully. So for any team, for a team like Everton who want to try and break into that top 4 group, you need to raise your game to the demands, and it was a test, but one that we would relish if we could get back into Europe in the coming seasons.
Are you expecting Everton to get stronger once the transfer window closes at the start of the next season? Tom Cleverley's a name that has been mentioned, of course.
I think we will. I think the managers, every year I've been at Everton, we've improved as a squad, and that's a mixture of some fantastic signings and the group kind of getting older, the younger boys maturing a year and raising their game, and that's held us in good stead. So I think this summer should be no different. We're linked with a few players, and that will keep the players that are at the club ready to fight for their place.
Would you like to see Tom Cleverley? Would he strengthen the group?
I think one thing for Everton is we've got some great midfielders. Gaz Barry leads and is a role model for the younger guys in the squad, and that rubs off on them. So it's a place that we are strong, but the manager's worked with him before, and he knows his qualities, and I'm sure if he thinks he'd be a good addition to the squad, then he'll go after him and try and get him.
Are you worried about Romelu Lukaku, or is a lot of this, I want to go and win titles, agent talk, do you think?
I think Rom's a guy with some great potential. He's got a physique and power that is not matched by many, but I don't think at this moment in his career he'd find a better club than Everton. It's a fantastic club to work for, and the demands are high. Rom probably struggled towards the first half of the season, but he improved his game in the second half, scoring some big goals for us. So I think as he matures and he ages well, he'll get his chance to fight for trophies and stuff like that. But I think he should be fighting for Everton and getting us to win trophies, because we're a club who have demands of getting some silverware, and there's a real belief with us. So as a youngster, he'll have great opportunities in the future, but I don't think he'd have a better club than Everton at the moment.
Have you had a break since the Premier League ended?
Yeah, there was a week there that you managed to kind of just not do anything, recharge the batteries, and I think for most of the boys that have been playing in the Premier League, it was a good wee break for them. And now you come back, and the first few days the training's been a bit more intense and tougher, but that kind of gets you back into the mould and ready for the upcoming games, which everybody in the squad is looking forward to.
Is the Qatar game as much as anything about getting back up to speed?
For some of the boys, I think it will be, and I think the manager alluded to that in his press conferences before, that the guys in the Championship that have finished for 3-4 weeks are right in the middle of their summer, and for these guys, I'm sure they'll be personally looking at this game to get them back up to speed. And for the rest of us, it's just continuing on the good work that we've done in the last 2 years.
Do you feel yourself rested and ready to go?
I do personally, and really looking forward to these games, especially the Ireland game, with it being a big qualifier. But the game at Easter Road will be exciting. The last time we played there, we got a good result, and it was a great night. The fans turned out in numbers, and it was good to kind of move the international scene around the country.
After just one defeat in 6 internationals, have you known confidence to be any better, any higher in your time with the Scotland squad?
No, I don't think so. I think I've been in squads with some great players, and I've learned a lot from them. But I think in terms of confidence, positivity, enthusiasm, I don't think we're going to get. I've certainly not had it much higher, and that just comes to the fact that the quality of player in terms of in the full squad, the 20-25 guys that come along is so high that the manager probably struggles every game to pick a starting 11, and that's what's progressed us that well. We're a group of guys who got on really well, and we've had this stage of our career where there's been a lot of potential, but now it's time to fulfil that potential, and I think we've shown that.
Aidan McGeady says that Ireland have the better players. Do you agree with that?
I think the two starting teams and stuff like that are very similar. I'd back Scotland every day of the week, but I think overall we've got a more competitive squad, and in terms of quality of player to come in, I think we've got the all-round better squad. But Ireland have shown that especially in this group as well, they've had a couple of blows, but they've had some big results as well. And the game at Celtic Park was very tight, and we managed to just have that wee bit more quality that won us the game. But the game next week could be so similar, and the break of the ball can decide the game. So we'll need to be ready. We'll need to be playing at our best and covering each other and be brave on the ball when we've got it, and that'll give us the best chance, and I'm sure we will go into the game with that positivity. Can
you guess what Aidan's confidence is like after the season at Everton he's had?
I think the season he's found it tough because he's a few injuries, and some of the boys in his position have been playing well, but towards the end of the season Aidan came in and made a difference to the Everton team, especially against West Ham. He set up the winning goal when we looked as if the game was running away from us, and he's somebody who is a fighter. He'll give all he has, and even when confidence is low and he's maybe not in the best of times, he'll work as hard as he can to get back to his best way, and that's something we'll need to be aware of next week.
In terms of qualification, how significant will Dublin be, do you think?
Every time we've met up, everybody's kind of said it's the biggest game, but it's only because it's the next game, and the group's so tight, especially Poland, Germany and Ireland and ourselves have all been fighting it out. So the games against each other, there'll be a lot of eyes watching on that and seeing the results, but we're confident with how we've done in the first half of the campaign, and if we can continue that trend on, then we'll be close to getting to a qualification spot, and that's all we can do. Pressure and create opportunities for each other.
What do you remember about France '98, and what would it mean to you to get to France this time round?
Yeah, in my lifetime, I've probably not had the feeling of Scotland go to every major tournament because it was slightly before my time, but France '98 was probably the first major tournament I've seen. Euro '96 slightly, but the interest was much more in France '98, and with Scotland having the opening game against Brazil, sun beating down and a packed stadium, it was just amazing. And probably now looking back, I appreciate it more and think what a buzz that must be. And I'm sure a lot of guys in the squad are similar ages and I'll probably have the same memories, and that's what's driving us. It's the best opportunity we've had since I've been in the national team, and one we don't want to give up easy.
Is it true you were left home alone for France '98?
Well, my mum and dad did go out to a few of the games, so I was at home watching it on TV, but hopefully they can be going back to France next year and watching me play.
You're watching Sky Sports, your home of sport.